We are going to go directly now to the host of the CJAD Car Show, heard Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock here on the Mighty 800. Lisa Christensen, who is a master mechanic, is on the line. Now, Lisa.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. I was out already today,
Uh-huh.
driving around, having a good time because this is fun weather for me.
Lisa, why is it that we all seem to forget how to drive when it snows?
I think it's beginning. I mean, everybody forgets the first snowstorm. We already had one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, everything cleaned up, and then we just had cold, and roads were clean and everything. And, you kind of forget it until you had two or three under your belt, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But as we can see, I'm sure you as a driver, and a lot of people listening will agree that simple things like common courtesy on the road have just about gone the way of the dodo. People have a tendency of cutting you off at the last second as they put on their turn signal sometimes, or they stop short and decide, oh, wait a minute, I think I'll turn here without giving anybody any notice. Crossing solid lines to exit from the third lane all the way to the right. I mean, it's a little bit crazy out there. And then you add this lovely snow that we had, and that's a recipe for disaster.
And you really do have to drive defensively in this kind of weather, isn't that true?
Absolutely. I was out this morning, about 2 hours ago. I was out driving around, and I drive a hybrid car, a Toyota Prius, so it's a little heavier. And because of that, I have put studded tires on my car. Mm-hmm. And I'm driving, just below the speed limit because that's what you're supposed to do, people, when you have bad weather. And even my studded tires, I was having the traction assist come on. So it's important to people to realize, because you touched on four-wheel drive cars, just because you have a 4x4 or an all-wheel drive, if you don't have adequate tires on the car, you're not necessarily going to get the benefit of that all-wheel drive or 4x4. In fact, you could end up having that false sense of security and maybe driving as if you weren't in a snowstorm. And that can also lead to people creating dangerous maneuvers. Maybe they survived the accident, but maybe you've cut off someone who was not able to stop in time, and you created an accident.
And Orla was telling us, too, about those little mounds of brown slush between the lanes that you have to kind of like plow through like you're going through a wake when you're water skiing or something. And those things can just grab your tires and pull you in a different direction.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. If you are driving in, the tracks on the road, because a lot of times you can't see lines or it gets a little dim at night, so you're kind of like following the two lines down the road of the tires. If you want to change lanes, you have to be very gradual. You can't just jerk the car and change lanes, because that will pull up the tires, and it's almost like glue. It pulls up the tire, and you feel the steering wheel almost yank out of your hands. So if you have to change lanes when you have a lot of greasy snow on the ground or those bumps that haven't been cleared yet, those tracks, then anticipate the change of the lane ahead of time. Slowly make your way over into the next lane gradually. No quick maneuvers. This is not the quick maneuver weather. This is weather where you have to take a deep breath, leave 10 minutes early for at least wherever you're going, slow down, give yourself some breathing space between you and the bumper in front of you.
And for Pete's sake, clear off your car.
Oh, is that not an entirely different show? I mean, it's like the rolling igloos. Are they not? We can do another hour on rolling igloos. Yeah. I saw two of them out there today, and the drivers are wearing a hoodie. I saw a woman with a snow jacket on. Her hood was so far front, I only found out it was a woman when I turned and I saw like the front of her face. That's the only time I knew it was a woman driving the car.
No peripheral vision whatsoever.
Zero. And no snow removal on top of it all on the car. You make a little
she was
hole
probably
so
cold.
You can see out.
She was probably cold from all that snow all over her car.
Oh, my goodness. So I wish the police had the time to start giving tickets or pulling people over and reminding them, clean off your car. Turn on your darn headlights, for heaven's sake. Give yourself some space. And you know what? Peripheral view, I don't know. When did it change the law? I thought you weren't allowed to have the sides of your face covered.
Really?
Because too many people driving around like that, and they just don't have that visual acuity to see maybe a child coming across the road who's not paying attention. You don't see it until it's too late. You need to keep your visual acuity out there. And a day like today, Tom, you really need to have your 360 going on.
No kidding. And that's another thing you just touched on before is your headlights. Turn your headlights on. I'm looking out the window now onto Papineau as we speak. And there are so many cars that are just driving with just their daytime running lights on.
And they think that they're invincible.
Yeah, that's not going to help you. People can't see you.
No, exactly. Every single car owner should be checking their own vehicle to see if when you turn on your car and the headlights come on, are your tail lights lit up? Most of the cars we see on the road today, Tom, the modern cars, have something called an auto lamp system. You turn it on auto. And you know what? When you go in the tunnel, boop, they come on by themselves, full intensity around. When you're out of the tunnel, whoop, they go back to the regular intensity.
And you don't have to, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it anymore.
Exactly. And you're safe. People can see you coming, and then especially when it gets a little darker, and with all that snow coming down, the light's going to be even less. You know, you're coming around the top of a hill, you're going around a corner, and then you meet the igloo with no lights on.
Really? Lisa, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to help us out here and remind people about what they should be doing on the road when they're driving in weather like this. It's very much appreciated.
Absolutely. And don't forget, Tom, before you leave the station today, you top up your windshield washer fluid and make sure that car is all cleaned off. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. It's 3:15, 3:15 at CJAD 800. Time to check the roads. Now that we've talked about the roads, we're going to check the roads. And here's Lauren Glazer. Lauren?
Introducing Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
Join me for an insider look on a wild ride through 40 years of global rock and roll.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app. Or ask your smart speaker to play Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio.
Who's ready to rock?
Kids wanna rock.